In the wake of the Watergate scandal of the early 1970s, Democratic Senator Frank Church led a committee dedicated to getting to the bottom of any actions perpetrated by the CIA that may have violated the charter of this secretive intelligence agency. It was believed that the CIA had accrued undue unilateral power under the pretext of the Cold War, and the Church Committee was assembled to expose this nefarious plot to the American people, though history shows us that the attempts of the Church Committee to curb the totalitarian zeal of the CIA were all but ineffective in the long run. A few interesting findings were uncovered during the course of this 1975 investigation. One such discovery was the so-called heart attack gun, a modified pistol that was capable of delivering a nearly undetectable but absolutely lethal dose of shellfish toxin into the body of a distant target. 4. The darts fired by this soundless gun would theoretically leave a pinprick no larger than a mosquito bite and dissolve almost instantly into the tissues of the body after delivering the payload so poisonous that the target would be almost guaranteed to have a heart attack within moments. It's unknown whether or not the heart attack gun was ever used, but for all we know, it could still actively be in use today. It's been grounded that subconscious informing is utilized widely in publicizing. This kind of promoting ordinarily abuses the baser desires of the general population to impact them to purchase an item or administration. Yet, imagine a scenario in which similar standards utilized in subconscious promoting are additionally being utilized by the United States Knowledge Network for the motivations behind reconnaissance or even psyche control. A previously mystery CIA archive named The Operational Potential of Subliminal Perception portrays in exact detail the recommended approach for gaming the standards of subconscious insight to convince somebody to accomplish something that they ordinarily wouldn't do, while the creator of the record eventually reasons that the operational adequacy of subconscious discernment is amazingly restricted. The CIA is generally known for its talent for working inside the injuries of extraordinary cut-off points and as yet achieving its undercover targets decisively. In the last part of the 1920s, the United States Navy started investigating the strategic capability of airborne plane-carrying warships. 2 blimp-style aircrafts were developed: the USS Akron and the USS Macon, the two of which conveyed a group of 60 men and were equipped for sending and recuperating Sparrowhawk military aircraft in flight. In any case, both Navy flying plane-carrying warships met shocking finishes and their remaining parts currently rest at the lower part of the ocean. Recently, notwithstanding, bits of gossip have surfaced of DARPA's arrangements to return this section of American history and start another endeavor to create airborne plane-carrying warships for military use. This time, these proposed sentinels of the skies would convey drones rather than monitored warplanes. Called the Demons Program, this venturesome DARPA activity would comprise of altered C-130 air transports stacked with secretive robots equipped for infiltrating adversary protections undetected. Possibly dominating the Moab as the most deadly non-atomic weapon in the United States stockpile. Project Thor is an innovation planned by Jerry Pournelle during the 1950s that would devastate foes with jolts from above, colloquially named bars from God. This sort of kinetic energy penetrator, KEP, would hypothetically comprise of a couple of satellites. One fills in as a focusing on center, and the other is furnished with 6-meter-long, 20 feet, tungsten poles that would be dropped on an objective from circle. fit for entering many feet into the Earth's outside layer. These thunderclaps from Thor would create harm equal to an atomic impact without the fallout, though the expense of conveying such poles into space is viewed as restrictive. Resuming the Project Thor activity was genuinely considered as of late as the George W. Hedge Organization. With $21 trillion apparently appropriated without approval by the Department of Defense and a couple of different officers. It's difficult to tell what conceivably cost-restrictive hypothetical tasks the United States government may be quietly accomplishing without the information or assent of its kin. Hugo Chavez carried global regard for the HAARP office in Alaska when he blamed the United States Air Force for utilizing this high-recurrence transmitter cluster to trigger the 2010 Haiti tremor. Until this point, projecting defamations on this United States Air Force research station was a violation of social norms submitted by just the looniest of tinfoil hatters. Theories about the hazier side of HAARP were apparently settled when the Air Force declared that this ionospheric research complex would be shutting its entryways in 2014. Yet, the hypothesis was fueled once again into fire when HAARP was resumed in 2017 by the University of Alaska Fairbanks, UAF, admittedly. It likely was definitely not a decent decision from a PR point of view with respect to UAF to pick the misleadingly instigated indication of a climate marvel as their first analysis. At the point when HAARP's new caretakers declared their arrangements to make a form of the aurora borealis that was undetectable to the unaided eye in the skies over Alaska. Many accepting this as affirmation of this dubious examination station's climate-controlling abilities, although the HAARP program has been consistently blamed for controlling the climate and broadcasting mind control signals. None of these cases have been plainly exhibited to be either evident or bogus up until now.